Hey, Logan Christopher here, and I have something important to talk to you about, and that's mobility training. Now, a lot of trainers and people have gotten into this because a lot of people have been teaching it in the recent years. First, let me say, if you haven't learned this at all, then it's absolutely essential that you do. If you want to learn how to move well, then you have to move well, and joint mobility is one way to do that. So, in the first presentation of the workshop, we had Eric Guttmann detailing his full mobility system to work from head to toe, with some really cool upgraded things like using auto-suggestion along with it that you won't see in other places. But really, that's just the beginning of what was covered at this workshop, because we went into the next evolution of mobility training. But before we get to this, watch this clip with Eric Guttmann.
I personally feel it around the 5th to 6th step. I feel a little zzz. So just pay attention and count the steps and see if you feel something. Now we're going to go on the rib cage. Now this is one that for some reason, my personal body, I like to do a lot of reps. And this is one that guys continually they want to do that for some reason. So again, this is one of the main reasons why I got this whole motive force. So what I do is, of course, you bend your knees and you're going to imagine that your fingers are pressing on your thigh. And when you press your thigh, your hinge, your rib cage is so relaxed that it absorbs the energy. And that's what allows it to come up, and then just let it collapse. So make pressing the thigh the motive force for the rib cage, for the hinge. And again, I've counted reps, and I usually like to do like 40 of these, whereas everything else is usually 5 to 10. And what you really want to feel is that your diaphragm gets to relax. And especially after deadlifting, you really want to do a lot of these for some reason. All right, the next one is one that a lot of people have, more time to learn. And again, a lot of these things, some of them took me months to get. Now it's called the lateral glide, and the best way I've seen to explain it first is to just open your hands and imagine there's a bookcase right next to it, and only try to move your rib cage. And these are really good to do in front of a mirror, because the ideal scenario has your face stuck and your pelvis stuck, and you only move your rib cage. And if you ever injure your lower back, you will see how connected your rib cage is, because the minute you go like that, you'll feel it. Now, if you're able to glide, kind of relax, you can try just lowering your arms and just seeing how far you will go. And again, the key is to release tension side to side. So be careful about, that's really good. You see, look at Nick is doing it. That's really good. So a common mistake is doing this. So that's why doing it in front of a mirror is cool, because you can see what you're doing. And again, once you feel that you've created that glide motion, you stop, because you achieve full mobility. And by the way, when I do this without explaining, it's about 20 to 26 minutes. That's all I'm doing, because this is my preparation for Qigong. Now I'm explaining and I'm breaking it down, so it takes a little bit more. But the goal is 15 to 20 minutes in the morning. Reset your body, re-energize your body.
So what is this next evolution of mobility training? It's something that Bud Jeffries came up with based on some of his massage background. Now, we can't show you a clip of that because, well, it's too good to show, but we are going to give you a little bit of the coaching call that me and Bud do for our Superhuman Training monthly members. And in this call, we talked about that because it was such a cool thing. I wanted to talk about it after the workshop, and really how it developed, how he's been using it, how I've been using it as well, just to give you an idea of what this is and really why it is, and I'll go with it, superior to the mobility training that most people are doing, because this is the only way that you'll actually be doing exactly what your body needs to be doing, what works for your body, not anyone else's. So listen to this clip.
Well, I'll tell you what I'm finding. Two things I think I'm finding with that, and maybe I'll explain to people what it is, I guess, or at least as much as we can explain right now. Okay, so mobility comes in a bunch of forms. Mobility being the ability to move fluidly, or the ability of a joint, a body to move through its entire range of motion. And most people are restricted in some way. They just don't move as well as they should. They don't whatever. And I got the idea after watching Eric and talking to these guys and applying some of the massage training that I have of, okay, the fascia, the connective tissue that surrounds all the muscle, all the joints of the body, actually acts like an active record around the body. And anything you do as movement, as well as anything you do that creates pain, creates energy or whatever, is recorded there. And you can suggest to the body, it's a legitimate massage technique to literally work itself backward through that memory, work through the positions that the body's been through, and find the areas where there's a disturbance, where there's something wrong, where there's something out of whack. And that's what we started to do, and I started to apply that. Instead of in massage, it's done by another person suggesting to the muscle, manipulate to do it that way. Well, I believe, this is what we started doing at the workshop, that you can do it on your own. You can suggest that. And so what are we doing there? What we're doing is creating mobility that is specific to the individual problem that any particular muscle or series of joints has. It's not just move in a circle. It's move in the shape of movement that either created the problem or that your body needs to undo that. And then asking the body to very specifically address those particular issues, those particular things, and undo them by the particular movements, by what happens and what it does. And I think it can be done. A couple things I've found, that the energy, I find that my energy really ramps up when I do it, and I'll tell you why, okay? People talk about blocks in energy and subtle energy and the flow of movement and chi, whatever, around the body. I think that fascia, for lack of a better way of how I'm visualizing it, okay, your fascia gets wrinkled or gets little burrs, or like if you had a line, okay, if you have a copper line that conducts electricity, and you bend that line so that it shorts back against itself, well, that's basically what you have going on with the fascia. And if you unwind it so that it's straightened out, you've taken the kink out, you've taken the short circuit out, you allow the flow of energy to become a ton better. I've also been finding that it holds better for me than other types of mobility. I don't know if there are people who do this, or if you had enough miles and dings on you to need to do a significant amount of mobility, you'll be able to feel that, hey, I'm warm, I'm mobile, I'm moving, and 6-8 hours later you don't feel as mobile. You're stiffening, or what, you know what I'm saying? I find that this particular style of mobility seems to hold longer for me than other types, and I think it's because you're addressing the specific problems. In other words, just working through a general thing versus working through a specific thing that's specific to you is a different result.
Well, tomorrow is the day when the Superhuman Workshop, the third one we've ever held, is launched to the public. You're going to be able to get all these DVDs, all the videos we've talked about, of which you've only seen a couple clips of some of the presentations, not even all of them. There's so much in total, 15 DVDs I believe we have. They're also going to be available, if you don't want DVDs, as digital videos that you can download online, so it's easier for you, and we'll pass some of the savings on to you as well. So we're going to have the whole package deal if you want to get everything. We're also going to have it where you can buy individual ones. If the lever training is what you want, you can just grab that. If you want to see all this new mobility stuff, be sure to grab that. Or if you want to get it all, you get an even bigger discount. You'll get all the details and be able to pick this up coming at you tomorrow on Friday. So be sure to stay tuned and watch your email inbox for the invite.